Hello, this is the trade site U.S. stocks and Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 16th of September, ending Friday the 21st of September 2018. It's not a Forex thing specifically, but we've rolled the futures contracts, and next Friday is triple expiration, including all the currency futures and everything. So that typically does slow Forex down next Friday. So just be aware of that. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart, which look how flat this thing has been. One move up in the middle of August, came right back, and other than that, this thing's basically been in like a 1.5 point range since late May, which is really, really boring, unfortunately. So more than summer doldrums, it's just been an uneventful period for Forex, and that's disappointing. Here's a look at the euro dollar. This is the inverse of the dollar index, of course. Basically very flat as well. The pound dollar is what it is. Aussie dollar had made new lows and then came back a little bit later in the week. Euro yen popped late in the week after a slow start. Pound yen, same story there. And the New Zealand dollar made the lows. All right. So in terms of, let's look at the intra-week action that we just came out of. Here it is. High to low on the euro was about 120 or 200 pips. Sorry. But some very flat days. Monday had some movement. Tuesday was nothing. Wednesday was nothing. Thursday we had a pop. There's 60, 70 pips right there just on a news pop, and then Friday came back a bit. Pound dollar, high to low, is a little bit bigger, 240. A couple winners, but also some very uneventful sessions on the pound in terms of our trading there. We did have a day where the 13 Comer signal gave us exactly the high of the day, and that was interesting. But other than that, it's been kind of light. Anyways, let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week, because really there's nothing to discuss on the charts technically. We're just stuck in this horrible range. So, right move HPI out of the UK on Sunday, and then Japan starts the week with a holiday for Monday there. Final CPI out of Europe, Italian trade balance, foreign security purchases out of Canada, Empire State Manufacturing Index here in the US, CB leading index out of the UK, and then Australia the same. Monetary policy meeting minutes from the last Bank of Australia meeting announcement, along with their housing price index. Manufacturing sales out of Canada, GDT price index out of New Zealand, TIC long-term purchases out of the U.S., current account out of New Zealand, trade balance out of Japan, MI leading index out of Australia. We've got Bank of Japan rate announcement on Tuesday. Going into Wednesday already, the Bank of Japan press conference, the CPI out of the UK, along with all their inflationary numbers. I always say we should do the same here in the US. CPI, PPI, RPI, HPI, all at the same time. German 10-year bond auction. Housing starts building permits and current account here in the US an hour before the bell on Wednesday. Crude oil inventory is an hour into the stock market on Wednesday. GDP out of New Zealand, RBA bulletin out of Australia. Swiss trade balance, Swiss LIBOR rate. So the rate announcement out of Switzerland too. 3:30 a.m. on Thursday. Retail sales out of the UK, Spanish 10-year bond auction, UK 10-year bond auction, ADP non-farm employment change out of Canada, Philly Fed here in the US, unemployment claims, that's the weekly number here in the US, not the unemployment rate. Consumer confidence out of Europe, CB leading index here in the US, along with existing home sales, natty gas, an hour into the market on Thursday here. Visitor arrivals out of New Zealand, national core CPI, along with flash manufacturing PMI, credit card spending out of New Zealand, all industries activity out of Japan, and then we've got the French, German manufacturing PMI numbers along with the broad European sector. We've got public sector net borrowing here in the U.S. We've got, what else? Core retail sales and CPI out of Canada. That's a big one, obviously. And then their CPI numbers across the board with their retail sales. And U.S. manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI here in the U.S. All right, so that's it. A lot of data, none of it the big stuff that we care about the most in Forex. And like I said, the big thing to focus on is the end of week and the expiration of all the futures. And that might have some impact on Forex. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading week.